Well, hello and welcome to Asia. This is Derek, and today I would like to kind of go over how bad is the lockdown here in Shanghai? How serious is it? What is it like? So, this is one of my first videos, and it's kind of a shame that one of my first videos is kind of going to be about this lockdown happening, but I think it's important for you guys to know. So, let's go ahead and get started. So again, my name is Derek. I've actually been in China for about 12 years, lived in Shanghai for about 7 years. I've lived in other cities around China as well. The lockdown that is happening here in Shanghai is very serious. Almost everything is closed or locked down. So you can go into supermarkets, you can get food, but even food is like not anything left. It's like a lot of junk food, soda, pop, Coke, junk food, whatever. That is all there. Some meats you can get, a lot of frozen meat, of course. Bacon, you can still find bacon, but any types of vegetables or fruits, almost all the bread, that's all sold out. Um, Rice, you can find a little bit of rice. Most of the noodles, and I'm not talking about the instant noodles, I'm just talking about the noodles you make soup with or whatever. Most of that is sold out. Um, Pudong, they went through a 5 day lockdown, and I guess it's released. Most of them are going to be released today. However, they've extended it, I guess, another 5 days for some parts, depending on where you are. I'm on the other side of the river, the Puxi side, and I guess from 3 o'clock this morning until now, we've been in our lockdown. Uh, we've already been tested once this morning. A lady with a microphone was going by, banging on each person's door at 8 o'clock in the morning, say, please come down and get tested. That was pretty quick. I think I was outside for like a total of 20 minutes, standing in line, maybe 10 minutes, and got tested and then came back in my apartment. The situation, like I said, is very bad. Supermarkets have been open, but food has been limited. Transportation until today has been normal. The subway is stopped now in Puxi area because this 5 day phase two of the lockdown has began. Uh, in terms of ways to make money, which is something that's kind of important to me, as I'm a teacher. So I teach kindergarten, and unfortunately, right now, kindergartens and all schools have been closed for the last 3 weeks now. The school was offering us some compensation till the end of the month. This month in April, we're not sure yet if the school will pay us or not. I've been doing a little bit of online teaching, hoping that will make some ends meet. But as for schools reopening, I don't expect schools to reopen in Shanghai until at least June. At least June. And this is what happened in 2020. A few reasons for that is, uh, Shanghai is going through all these major lockdowns now, and it's April. There's no sign of improvement, no good news happening, so nothing's improving in order to allow schools to reopen. Number two is all international flights have been diverted to other cities and will not resume normal transportation until I think the first week of May. So I don't really see schools opening before transportation would reopen fully, or flights coming into Shanghai. There's domestic flights, but international flights, a lot of them have been diverted to like Hangzhou and other areas. So I just don't see schools reopening anytime soon. It'll be a kind of a slow phase where they open up everything. It'll be, high school, of course, will be probably first, and university. And then it'll be middle school, primary school, and then kindergartens and training schools. So the situation here is not good. I've been tested a total of like, oh God, almost 8 or 10 times in the last 3 weeks. we went through a 48-hour lockdown. We were tested twice on Saturday and a Sunday. Nobody in my area was tested positive. That's good news. We were released like after they said 48, but it turned out to be almost 60 hours. Then we got released after all the results came back. And then they've done a 24-hour lockdowns where they tested us again, then released us. They've done some, at least so far, two 12-hour lockdowns where they will ask us to do the self-test kit and then bring it downstairs, give it to the, I don't know what you call it, doctor, the person in the hazmat suit. And there's been no problems, but they just keep testing us. It's getting a little annoying, honestly. It's unwelcoming to be here now. Everywhere you go, security officers are, even in your community, are kind of hassling people all the time. You know, it's like they release us, but then 2 minutes later when you walk on the gate, oh, did you do your test? I'm like, guys, we just did our test a few minutes ago. Shanghai, honestly, during a pandemic or any type of problem, is not the place to be. I was here in 2020. I had to do online teaching for a while, and it was tough. I ended up leaving Shanghai to go to Ningbo for the last year and a half, and I just returned back to Shanghai to work in October. And I thought the pandemic was behind us, but nope. So the pandemic is worse than 2020. 2020, at least I could go places. I was never locked down. This is the first time in 2 years I've ever been locked down. That's how serious it is. And the numbers just keep increasing every day. It's like 1,000 more, 2,000 more. The numbers are not improving at all. A few people have committed suicide throughout China just because they can't get to medicine, or they're in too much pain, or the stress. People have just jumped for their balconies. You know, I understand why they locked the city down. They want to prevent other people from getting the virus. But if people don't go to work, like me, if I have to wait another 2 months, it's game over. You know, I don't have a huge savings because I purchased a house that all of my money has went towards. So if I don't have any income or work for the next 2 months, it's game over. And that's also dangerous, not to have work. So if you guys have any questions, leave the comments below. I'd definitely like to hear what you guys have to think, or I'd like to know what you guys like to ask me. All I can say is I'm planning to leave Shanghai probably next week, if possible, to go to Zhejiang province and go to work there, because other cities are still open for schools. I was just talking to my friend in a city called Ningbo in Zhejiang province, and he said, yeah, it's not as bad as Shanghai. I mean, you got to wear a mask when you go to the school, and you still have to get weekly testing and kind of report where you go depending on which part of the city. But they're not closing schools down. They've only had 4 cases. So if I don't work for 2 months or 3 months in Shanghai, you can't recoup that type of money. It's a lot of money lost. You know, even if the school's compensating you some money, you know, maybe they give you 50%, 60%, 40%, depending where you are. That's just so much money gone. And other cities are also offering the same salary compensation as Shanghai. So I'm considering leaving and going to Zhejiang province. And I have a good Chinese friend. He's going to lend me his car and use that to go to work. So that's my plan, is to kind of get out of here. You know, I've been here 12 years, and China's been really good to me. I've had a lot of great experiences, but the last 2 years has been a major uphill challenge. It's like every time something good happens, something bad happens, and it's all related to the policies that the government comes out with. You know, it was a big blow when the the pandemic happened. Schools were locked down for a long time, and then, you know, I had visa trouble during the first year of the lockdown. I had to worry about getting that solved, and I did. And then it was like, the new policies with the Educational Bureau where you can't have all these schools on the weekend. And I had part-time jobs. I lost a lot of income just because schools were closed because of that, or they just couldn't have classes on the weekend. And I was going to start my own business with my friend. So it's always been one setback. And then I was denied my visa, my renewal of my residence permit back in October, and that's what brought me back to Shanghai. It was just the time. I renewed it at the end of August, but it took about 3 weeks for them to process, and just so many changes at the same time. So for some reason they denied the renewal, so I ended up coming to Shanghai and getting a new residence permit and work permit here. Everything was fine, but and then again, this pandemic again. So it's been a huge challenge, and it's all related to the policy. So some advice I have, and I'm gonna go into a more detail in future videos, is I suggest, until this whole pandemic stuff is done and nobody ever talks about it anymore, avoid working in Shanghai. Avoid coming here to live. Travel, fine. But to work here, you risk getting closed down or locked down quite a bit, and that's also a lot of money being lost. When I was in Zhejiang province recently, Shanghai was in lockdown a couple times, but like for a week or two. But I was never in lockdown there. None of the schools were ever closed. So I'm just suggesting, if you want to work here, go to another city nearby Shanghai. They're going to most likely stay open. But when you're in an international city like Shanghai, the chances of you getting locked down are a lot higher. Especially with the war going on, in Ukraine and Russia. Who knows? They might even close schools down because of, for safety of a terrorist attack. Who knows, right? So anyways, one thing I could suggest for you guys is, if you're gonna stay in Shanghai, stock up. Even after this lockdown's done, stock up on food. Storable food like pancake mix, noodles, oatmeal. Stock up on things that you may need. That milk that doesn't need to be refrigerated. Get some vitamins, of course, vitamin D, of course, but stock up on things in case there's another lockdown 2 months, 3 months down the road. Also, save money, save money, because a lot of schools, they can't afford to pay teachers a lot of money right now because of all the issues that they've been facing. So stay safe. Again, leave some comments below, ask some questions, and I'll try to get back to you guys when I have time. Anyways, take care, and today is April 1st. Happy Fool's Day. And no, this video is not a joke. So anyways, take care. Bye.